Go yard.
I got so much motherfucking design on right now.
Break it down, bring it back, make it clap. I got 3 old thoughts, new guap, where that thing. Bitches on my line, and you know they come.
Hey, what's going on, boys? It's your boy Cool Kid coming back at you with yet another Clash Royale video. Today, boys, we're pushing on the main ladder mode, whatever it's called. I always forget. We're looking to hit 7,500 pretty soon. But today I'm just going to be showing some replays of how I got up to 73.49. We're getting real close. It's over halfway from 7K to 7,500, so getting kind of proud of myself. Once again, we're using this OP Balloon Rage Freeze deck with the miner control, with the miner, goblins, archers, Valk, and Inferno Tower. It's been working pretty well for me, and honestly, it's kind of surprising me. I play real aggressive. I make a lot of mistakes, but like the Balloon Rage Freeze combo just kind of claps back at people, so that's pretty sick. We're going to be going over some of these replays. I think I'll just do these top 3. This one against the square root of Aztan or whatever. Aztian, sure. Alright, so in this game, I wanted to feel him out, see what he had. So, you know, you always want to bait out your his air counter cards. Basically balloon counters. I saw he plays Hunter, so I went all in first play. Valk Balloon. Wanted to see what he had. He went with the Fisherman, Goblin Cage, and then Royal Delivery. And he had no elixir to stop this balloon anymore. So I dropped a Rage, and then I just split archers or split goblins to defend all this. And worked out pretty well. He got down to 500 HP, and then he throws Royal Hogs at me though. And all I had for that was archers. So he kind of clapped back at me. We both got each other's towers down real low. And just real easy to finish off for both of us. Unfortunately, in my deck, I don't have a big spell. So I just kind of minered the tower until it went down. And I kind of did that in one miner, so that's cool. And he plays his Hunter and his Spear Goblins. And I'm at 9 elixir. He's at 3, 4. So I'm like, you know what? We're going Valk Balloon opposite lane. He's only got Cage for this. He's got no air card counters. So let's just clap him. He went with the Royal Delivery. And that's all he did for my balloon. So my balloon gets 3 shots off. Honestly, this guy's not playing the smartest he's ever played in his life, I bet. Unless he's always like this. But yeah, he definitely wasn't playing smart. Wasting all of his air card counters while I have a balloon deck. And he knows it, but you know what? I'll take it. He goes in with Pigs. I Inferno Tower. He Earthquakes. I wanted to save my elixir, so I get an elixir advantage. And he only deals a small amount of extra damage. And I'm up about 3.5 elixir. So I'll take that trade. Kind of a wasted Earthquake on his part. And then I go with Miner. He goes with the Fisherman just to pull it back, but not before the Miner gets a couple shots on tower. I see Spear Goblins in the back, so I go with a Rage on top of them. He logs nothing. Fisherman's going to pull up and grab that Valkyrie, so he goes with Pigs. But I go with Archers, Goblins, and he goes Earthquake. Pigs don't get much damage, and I just go with Balloon here. Miner in the back. See what he's going to do. He goes with Spear Goblins behind his tower. Hunter, which actually shoots at the Miner first, which is real good for me. Balloon takes the tower down. 25 seconds left, and we're absolutely clapping this bad boy up. Sure, we made like a really aggressive play in the beginning and lost our tower pretty early, even though we took his. We just kind of clapped back, knowing all of his air counter cards and what he had and what he didn't have in his cycle. And yeah, that was a pretty easy win, to be honest. Next time he's got to try harder than that if he wants to beat me, you know? Alright, so that was the game against the square root of Aztalan. And let's check out this one here against Thales. Tahales. It was like Tom's. I don't know. Yeah, he's got Dark Goblin arrows and log on his profile, so I wasn't looking forward to this match. I thought it was going to be bait. But then he played his deck, and I was like, whoa, that's kind of whack. I went with Archers in the back. He splits Wall Breakers, and I'm like, well, I can't do anything. But those Archers clutched up for me, took those out. Didn't even touch my tower, so that was OP. I go with the Valk in front of the left side archer, and the bandit goes down to that. And he places a Mega Knight, which is honestly a little bit scary. So I go with the Inferno Tower. But look at his hand. He's got Miner, Bats, Zap, Bar Barrel. He's got a lot of counters to my Inferno Tower, like distracting it for the Mega Knight. So I have to go with the Miner on the Mega Knight and Goblins on the Miner. And I take that out with, it was a little scary, but you know what? We got her done. And here we're up just to 1 elixir, so nothing too crazy quite yet, but he does have a bit of damage advantage on me. And here, I didn't want to play anything because I knew he was going to go Bandit. I was going to go Valk in the back, but I'm like, no, I got to save it for the Bandit because otherwise I have nothing. So I saved it, went for the Valk when he went for the Bandit, and then I just went all in with the Balloon. And then I raged because he had Bats, and I knew he had Bats because he played on my Inferno Tower earlier. And Balloon does get 1, 2 shots. Even with the Musketeer there sniping her away. We got the rage down, so it was pretty OP. We go with Goblins on top of this Miner. Our Miner doesn't tank the Musketeer there, and he zaps our Goblins away, so that Muskie gets infinite damage. It was crazy. He was up 800 HP at this point, and I was like, oh boy, I am tilting the crap out of this match. But he goes with Wall Breakers. I'm like, alright, I'll just go with the Valk here. Try set up for another Balloon push, maybe, because I know I have a decent amount of elixir on him. Then he goes Bats early, so I just go with the Archers. He goes with the Bar Barrel, and here my hand is really awkward. Valk does get a shot on his tower, so that was pretty OP, evening us up. But since my hand was awkward, I just went with an Inferno Tower in the middle. Saw what that could do. Went with Goblins in front of my tower, trying to predict the Miner and catch the Bandit. And then he sends Wall Breakers right into my Inferno, so that was pretty cool. I went with Miner, Balloon. I knew he was going to go Bats, so I saved my rage for that. And there it is. And I also froze his Musketeer, got real aggressive there. I went with Goblins here, seeing if I could defend all that. But then he zaps him too. I'm like, well, I'll just like let my tower go down and see what kind of damage I can do on his second tower, because that's what this game has come to. So I go with Valk, I go with Balloon, and he goes Bats, Muskie. So I freeze up the Muskie, I rage up the Bats, and then he zaps my Balloon. I get 1 shot, but he got all that Wall Breaker Bandit damage. So I was like, oh boy, this is kind of getting scary. He is up by 4 HP, and with these Bats, he's up by even more. I go with the Valk on top of the Muskie. He goes Muskie in the back, so I went with a Miner on top of it, knowing that was like one of his only good air card counters. And his Bandit's on like 1 HP. He goes with a Miner in the back. I just go with Goblins for that. Bandit gets taken out. I go with Inferno Tower for the Wall Breakers, finish off the Musketeer. And here he goes Bats on top of all that. I go with Archers in the back. And honestly, it's a pretty even game at this point. But I know all of his air card counters. He wastes a Mega Knight in the back, which is a 7 elixir card. So I just go with Valk Balloon in the pocket, freeze out the Muskie, rage out the Balloon, and win that game with ease. And Thales goes down, beating the Illuminati clan. Alright, and then we got this last game up against Syak from Dark Knights. Not Mega Knights, not Dark Prince, but Dark Knights. Quite the clan name. And I honestly, it took me a while to figure out what he had, because he had such a weird combination. But, yeah, let's hop right into this. I went Miner on his tower, he went Goblin's Bridge, so I went Goblins for those. He went Bar Barrel on my Miner, so he didn't have Bar Barrel for my Goblins, so he goes for the Bull on Queen for those. I can let that Barbarian go and kind of freak out about this Queen for a second. Waste my elixir a little bit, trying to get my Valk down, just so the tower can shoot the Archer Queen as well. And the Archer Queen does take my Valk out and takes 1 shot on my tower. He goes with the Phoenix in the back, and I go with a Balloon at the bridge, because he just used Archer Queen, just used Phoenix, wanted to see what else he had. He did end up having a building, and he poisoned, so Buddy was using up his elixir quite heavily there. I went with Archers to try to defend all of this. The Goblin Brawler just 1 shot to my Archer, but then this Archer can take out that Phoenix pretty easily. And then I go with the Miner on his tower once again. He goes with Goblins, and I kind of waste my elixir advantage by going Rage on those. So all I got really there was a Rage damage, so it's alright. We went with Valk in the back. He goes barbell at the bridge. We go with goblins just to counter that. Do not let it get any chip on my tower. He goes Valk in the back. Queen in the middle. And he snipes those goblins away. Doesn't let them get any damage. I try to snipe this archer queen with some archers. And they kind of snipe away at that Valkyrie too. But these are pretty high HP units at the moment right now. Honestly, if he went graveyard right there, he probably would have won the game. But instead, he just lets it go. And I go miner. He only gets like, what, one or... I think, yeah, he got one queen shot there. And then he goes with cave. So I'm like, alright, let's go with balloon. Try to get a Valk in front of it. He goes with Phoenix on top of that. And I decide not to rage because I don't want to waste my elixir. And Phoenix does ultimately end up backtracking, getting back to that balloon real slow. Balloon gets 2 shots. And I just place an Inferno Tower on defense. Try to take all this out. Use my archers to snipe off that Phoenix. He goes with poison. And his queen is walking down the lane. I'm kind of tripping out, not sure what to do. So I just go with a miner and then go with goblins on top of this archer queen. But archer queen OP one-shots those goblins and gets, I think, 3 shots on my tower, which really hurt. Then he goes with Valk behind these goblins as well as a graveyard. So I'm kind of glad I placed my Valk there. It was not intentional. I didn't know he had a graveyard. And then archers just cleaned up most of those skeletons. Hiccups, excuse me. We go with the miner on this tower. I actually end up hitting his queen. Balloon's going for his tower. Nope, it's going for the cage. He just got another one and down pretty quickly. But I freeze the archer queen up. He goes with Phoenix. I'm really hoping for a shot here to win the game, but it does not come down. So here I'm like, oh boy, I wasted a lot of elixir there. I am low-key kind of screwed. I go with this Valk in front of the archer. Try to take out the queen. Doesn't work, but the archer finishes her off. And then he goes with the Valk. And I go with a miner balloon here as he goes bar barrel graveyard. I have like 1800 HP, he has 800, so I was like, okay, I got this. And then all of a sudden, my tower went down very quickly, so I froze up his units, let my balloon death damage hit his tower, and that is game. Way too close in the end there. I got way too aggressive, but we take those dubs. Yeah, boy, that was crazy. But yeah, that's ultimately the push that got me from like 72, 63 all the way up to 73, 49, and we will continue pushing until we get to 7,500, I guess. So let's see if we can do that maybe this season. Anyways, that was your boy, Cool Kid. Peace out and toodaloo.
Do.